Latest: The Young and the Restless recap delivers intense drama from Thursday, April 30th. Sally Spectra accepts Billy Abbott's marriage proposal, marking a major turning point in their relationship. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott focuses on Patty as part of his ongoing strategy against Victor Newman. A shocking revelation from Sienna leaves Nick, Sharon, and Noah reeling, shaking up emotions in Genoa City. Looking ahead, early spoilers for May 4th to 8th tease rising tension as Lily Winters experiences growing happiness, while Kyle Abbott edges closer to a breaking point. For Friday, May 1st, Sharon questions Sienna's story as Nick faces mounting pressure from Victor, setting the stage for more explosive developments. Welcome to A Mysterious Time TV, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of Young and the Restless, uncovering untold stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. Y&RRecap, Thursday, April 30th. Sally accepts Billy's proposal as Jack eyes Patty in his battle against Victor. The April 30th episode of The Young and the Restless delivers emotional turning points, tense confrontations, and the setup for a dangerous alliance. Sally makes a life-changing romantic decision, Jack begins to rethink his strategy against Victor, and Phyllis lashes out after feeling betrayed by her own son. This episode airs April 30th, 2026, in the United States, with Canadian viewers getting an early look one day prior. Kyle confronts Patty and issues a stern warning. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Patty crosses paths with Kyle as he's heading inside. She attempts a friendly introduction, but Kyle immediately shuts her down, making it clear he knows exactly who she is, and wants nothing to do with her. He refuses even a handshake and questions why she's still in town. Kyle doesn't mince words, warning Patty to stay far away from his father. Patty, however, remains calm and acknowledges the awkwardness of their situation, even referencing how unfortunate their first encounter was, when Kyle found her in bed with Jack. As Kyle tries to walk off, Patty follows, arguing that people deserve forgiveness. She points out that his mother has been given second chances and hopes for the same opportunity. Kyle isn't interested. He bluntly tells her to leave Genoa City altogether. Patty refuses, claiming she intends to build a future there, mentioning love and a new life. Kyle quickly shoots that down, promising to make her life miserable if she continues pursuing Jack. Patty counters by criticizing Diane, insisting she'll never forgive Jack and was never right for him anyway. Frustrated, Kyle labels Patty delusional. She responds by comparing him to his father, though she notes his constant scowl doesn't suit him. With that, she walks away. Billy shares big news while Jack spirals over the past. At the Abbott mansion, Billy drops in with major updates. He reveals to Jack that Sally is pregnant, catching him completely off guard. Before Jack can fully process that, Billy adds that he has already proposed to her. Jack is stunned by the whirlwind of developments. Billy admits that Sally hasn't officially accepted yet, but he remains hopeful. He then apologizes for bringing joyful news at a time when Jack is clearly struggling. Jack reflects on his recent actions, especially his encounter with Patty. He admits his memory of that night is hazy and wonders if, in the moment, he may have been trying to manipulate her rather than genuinely wanting her. He speculates that aligning with Patty could have been a calculated move to turn her against Victor. Billy is skeptical of that explanation and suggests Jack may just be trying to justify his behavior. Regardless, what's done is done. Billy then asks where things stand with Diane. Jack reveals there's no progress, he's completely lost her. Instead of focusing on reconciliation, his anger toward Victor intensifies. He even considers forming an alliance with Patty to strike back, believing he has nothing left to lose. Audra questions Sally's hesitation about marriage. Meanwhile, at Chancellor Park Cafe, Sally meets Audra for what initially appears to be a business discussion. However, Audra quickly senses something more personal is going on. Sally shares that Billy is thrilled about the pregnancy, but Audra notices that Sally keeps focusing on Billy's feelings instead of her own. When pressed, Sally insists she is happy but admits everything is moving very quickly. Audra voices cautious support but remains observant. Sally then reveals Billy's proposal, prompting another subtle reaction from Audra that doesn't go unnoticed. When confronted, Audra points out that Sally had doubts about Billy not long ago, making the sudden engagement seem rushed. Sally defends her relationship, saying they're both in love. Still, she admits she hasn't actually accepted the proposal yet. Audra interprets this as hesitation and suggests Sally may not be ready. Digging deeper, Sally confesses her insecurities. She recalls past relationships where she wasn't chosen and fears history could repeat itself. Despite Billy's commitment, she worries she might not be enough and that he could change his mind. Audra challenges that thinking, reminding Sally that Billy has clearly chosen her, he even proposed. She pushes Sally to consider whether her fears are truly about her past or something more present. Daniel confides in Christine about Phyllis's situation. At Crimson Lights, Daniel runs into Danny and Christine, who are celebrating Christine's new role as district attorney. After congratulating her, Daniel shifts the conversation to something more serious, his mother. He explains that Phyllis believes Victor possesses fabricated evidence accusing her of corporate theft. While Phyllis insists the claims are false, Daniel admits she asked him to intervene and convince Christine not to take the job. Christine reassures him that she has no personal vendetta against Phyllis. She states clearly that her role will be guided by the law, not past conflicts. However, she acknowledges that she's already been informed, by Victoria, that evidence does exist. Although Christine initially questioned the motives behind that information, she makes it clear that if credible proof surfaces, she will have no choice but to act. Daniel expresses doubt that his mother is lying about the evidence being fake. Christine promises to remain fair and not abuse her authority. Victor and Victoria deliver a harsh reality check to Phyllis. At the Newman Ranch, Phyllis storms in, furious and defiant. She insists that Michael will dismantle any case Victor tries to build against her. Victor remains confident, even mocking her determination. He suggests her stubbornness will only make her eventual downfall more satisfying. Phyllis fires back, accusing Victor of fabricating evidence and manipulating situations, including using AI in previous schemes. She vows to expose him before he can succeed. Victor brushes off her threats, doubting that any testimony, especially from Kane, could harm him. When Phyllis brings up Jack's past ordeal, Victor dismisses it entirely. Victoria advises Phyllis to cut her losses and move on, warning her that continuing this battle could cost her everything, including her relationships with her children. Victor then reveals that Christine has officially taken the district attorney position, implying that Phyllis's legal troubles are about to escalate dramatically. Kyle and Victoria clash over their fathers. Back at the athletic club, Victoria encounters Kyle and immediately brings up Patty's presence. Kyle confirms the encounter, and Victoria casually comments on Patty's unchanged appearance. Kyle sees through her tone and confronts her about her loyalty to Victor, questioning how she can ignore the damage he's caused. Victoria defends her father, pointing out that there's no solid proof against him. Kyle argues that she must feel some level of guilt deep down. Victoria maintains that without evidence, she cannot turn against her father, and reminds Kyle that Jack is far from innocent himself. Kyle refuses to accept any comparison, insisting Victor's actions are far worse. Victoria suggests both men are flawed and that Kyle should reflect on that before storming off. Sally finally says yes to Billy. Later at the cafe, Billy joins Sally and Audra. After a brief exchange, Audra excuses herself, leaving the couple alone. Billy notices Audra's quick exit and jokes about her apparent dislike for him. Sally encourages him to address that directly another time. He then returns to what matters most, his proposal. He asks if Sally has made a decision. This time, she has. Sally tells him she wants the same future he does. She accepts his proposal, giving him a clear and heartfelt yes. Billy, prepared for this moment, produces the ring and slips it onto her finger. The two share a kiss, sealing their engagement. Phyllis explodes at Daniel and cuts him off. Back at Crimson Lights, tensions erupt when Phyllis arrives and finds Daniel speaking with Christine and Danny. Learning that Christine has taken the DA position and may pursue a case against her, pushes Phyllis over the edge. She accuses Daniel of betraying her by discussing her situation with Christine. Daniel doesn't back down, pointing out that her actions are the real problem. Phyllis feels completely abandoned, believing even her own children are siding with Victor. She demands to know if Daniel wants to see her imprisoned. Her anger spreads as she lashes out at Danny, questioning his parenting, and then at Christine, sarcastically suggesting she must be thrilled to prosecute her. Finally, Phyllis delivers a devastating blow. She tells Daniel she will never forgive him before storming out. Danny steps in to comfort their shaken son. Jack recovers a crucial memory about Patty. Alone at the Abbott mansion, Jack struggles to piece together the events of his night with Patty. Slowly, fragments return. He remembers making a deal with her. She would show him the yacht in exchange for a kiss. The memory clarifies his intentions. He had been manipulating Patty all along, trying to gain leverage against Victor before the situation spiraled out of control. Jack sets his sights on Patty again. Later, Jack arrives at the Genoa City Athletic Club and spots Patty at the bar. Watching her from a distance, he smiles slightly, clearly forming a new plan. With his memory restored and his anger toward Victor stronger than ever, Jack appears ready to turn Patty into an ally, this time, fully aware of the game he's playing. This episode sets the stage for major conflicts ahead. As alliances shift, trust breaks down, and bold decisions reshape the future for several Genoa City residents. Next update. A shocking revelation from Sienna leaves Nick, Sharon, and Noah reeling, while Billy takes a big step with Sally. Wednesday, April 29, 2026. Emotions run high as major life changes unfold. Billy makes a heartfelt proposal, Lily and Kane find their way back to mutual understanding, and Sienna delivers a chilling confession about Matt. At Society, Lily, Stephanie, and Holden celebrate the life-saving news about Malcolm. Kane is grateful to have been part of the call with Malcolm and the twins, and Lily promises Holden that he'll soon meet her children in person. Stephanie expresses her appreciation to Kane for stepping up, and the group raises a toast in his honor. As they discuss the upcoming medical procedures, Lily acknowledges how difficult chemotherapy can be. Kane admires her strength during her own experience, noting how gracefully she handled it. Though he couldn't save his father, Kane is determined to make a difference for Malcolm. Lily hopes for nothing but positive moments ahead, while Kane suspects Malcolm may have mixed feelings about him being the donor. Holden, however, believes this act has greatly improved Kane's standing. Stephanie announces she must return to New York to join Malcolm for pre-surgery preparations. After sharing emotional goodbyes, she leaves with Holden. Kane then opens up to Lily, admitting that his decision is partly for her, since Malcolm is tied to her existence. He also hopes it brings him peace regarding his father's passing and sets an example for their children. Lily is touched, especially as Kane becomes emotional. She admits she's relieved he's no longer the man he used to be, and they both acknowledge how much they've changed. The two make peace with their recent struggles. Meanwhile, at home, Sally and Billy enjoy a quiet, affectionate moment together. Billy surprises her with a red rose and admits that thoughts of their baby have taken over his mind. When pressed, he confesses he feels both thrilled and nervous, but above all, committed. Sally reassures him she feels the same and has never felt more loved. They celebrate with apple cider and share a close, intimate moment, afterward reflecting on how everything feels right. The conversation turns to baby names, though some options are quickly dismissed with laughter. Sally admits she once feared Billy might feel trapped, but he insists the baby is a blessing. He reflects on the pain of losing Delia, noting that while it never fully fades, time has made it easier to bear. Sally, still processing her own fears after losing Ava, admits she's scared, but also filled with hope and happiness about their future. In a Las Vegas hotel room, Chelsea anxiously waits until Adam arrives, exhausted and shaken. He explains that an explosion occurred and that Nick is hospitalized due to taking drugs that had been tampered with by Matt. Adam credits Victor's team for helping and thanks Chelsea for alerting him, but warns that the situation isn't resolved. He learns Sienna was given directions to the garage before Riza left, and now everyone fears she may have crossed paths with Matt. Soon, Sharon and Noah bring Nick into the room. Adam urges his brother to recognize that he needs help. Though resistant at first, Nick finally admits how bad things had become, even saying he might have taken the drugs regardless of knowing the risk. He takes responsibility for his actions while expressing anger at Matt. The group rallies around him, offering support, and Adam shares the latest about Sienna, which alarms Noah. Tension rises over Nick's recovery plans, but Adam eventually concedes that Nick seems stable for now. The brothers share a moment of understanding before Adam and Chelsea step out, leaving Sharon with Nick and Noah. Back outside society, Kane walks Lily to her car. There, goodbye, is warm but restrained. Lily offers a hug and a kiss on the cheek before leaving, signaling both closeness and boundaries. At home, Sally and Billy revisit the topic of baby names, joking about complicated combinations. Billy then grows serious, expressing his deep love for her. In a surprising move, he produces a ring box from beneath the covers and asks Sally to marry him, marking a major turning point in their relationship. Finally, in the Vegas suite, Sharon tries to learn more about Nick's struggles when a sudden noise interrupts them. Noah opens the door and is stunned to see Sienna standing there, injured, shaken, and covered in blood. Struggling to speak, she mentions Matt. When Nick demands answers, Sienna, clearly traumatized, reveals the truth: Matt is dead, and she was responsible. Next update. Young and the Restless early weekly spoilers, May 4th to 8th. Lily's joy grows while Kyle reaches his breaking point. The upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless promise emotional highs and explosive tension. As Lily Winters finds herself overwhelmed with happiness, Kyle Abbott struggles to keep his temper in check. Meanwhile, danger still looms for the Newman family, and several risky plans begin to take shape. As always, we'll first revisit the final developments of this week before looking ahead to what's coming next, including an important scheduling update. Midweek drama, a turning point for Lily and Kane. On Wednesday, April 29th, a heartfelt moment unfolds as Lily Winters, Kane Ashby, Holden Novak, and Stephanie Simmons gather to celebrate an incredible breakthrough. Kane has been confirmed as a donor match for Malcolm Winters, bringing hope to the entire family. Stephanie sees the situation as nothing short of divine intervention, and plans are quickly made for Malcolm to travel to New York to begin preparations for his transplant. Before leaving, Holden and his mother express their gratitude to Kane. Kane makes it clear his decision is deeply personal. He's doing it for Lily, their children, and in memory of his late father, Colin. His sincerity moves Lily, who admits she no longer sees him in the same negative light. The emotional moment leads to mutual apologies, especially regarding Lily's past deception involving the staged kidnapping. With forgiveness exchanged, Lily gives Kane a gentle kiss on the cheek, signaling a renewed warmth between them. Chaos in Vegas, survival and suspicion. Over in Las Vegas, the situation remains tense. Adam Newman arrives at the hotel, much to Chelsea Lawson's relief. He explains that Victor Newman's team arrived just in time to save them before a gas station explosion. Adam, along with Noah Newman, Sharon Newman, and Nick Newman, narrowly escaped. However, Nick's condition raises serious concern. After taking dangerous substances, he ends up hospitalized. Adam feels responsible for encouraging him, but Nick reassures him, admitting that his addiction had already taken hold and he likely would have taken the pills regardless. Their emotional exchange leads to a rare moment of brotherly bonding, with Nick expressing gratitude and the two sharing a hug. The danger isn't over, though. Adam reveals that Sienna fled the scene, and concerns grow that Matt Clark may have found her. Soon after, Sienna appears injured and shaken, claiming she killed Matt. Not everyone is convinced. Romance in Genoa City, Billy's big move. Back in Genoa City, Billy Abbott sets the stage for a heartfelt proposal to Sally Spectra. He creates an intimate setting complete with cider, flowers, and a thoughtful meal. Billy opens up about how much the unexpected pregnancy means to him. He expresses confidence that Sally will be an amazing mother, while also assuring her he doesn't want to pressure her into any decisions. Sally makes her feelings clear. She wants both Billy and their future child. Their conversation turns light-hearted as they discuss baby names, but the moment quickly becomes serious when Billy presents a ring and asks her to marry him. All signs point to a joyful yes. Thursday tensions, Kyle clashes and legal threats rise. On April 30th, Kyle Abbott has an unpleasant encounter with Patty at the Genoa City Athletic Club. Known for her obsession with Jack Abbott and her hostility toward Diane Jenkins Abbott, Patty's presence immediately creates tension. Kyle has little patience for her unpredictable behavior, and the interaction is far from pleasant. Meanwhile, Christine Williams, now serving as district attorney, turns up the heat on Phyllis Summers. Armed with what she believes is solid evidence, Christine threatens legal action. However, the evidence in question was fabricated, placing Victoria Newman in a potentially dangerous position if the truth comes out. Familiar faces and risky plans. Danny Romalotti returns this week and may attempt to intervene in the escalating conflict. If he learns that the evidence against Phyllis was manipulated using Victor's questionable AI tactics, he could try to convince Christine to reconsider. Victor, on the other hand, pressures Michael Baldwin, possibly pushing him to take legal action that could impact not only Phyllis but also Michael's own wife, Lauren Fenmore. Elsewhere, Jack Abbott and Nikki Newman hatch a questionable scheme. Their idea? Pretend to be romantically involved to provoke jealousy in Diane and Victor, hoping it will force reconciliation discussions. It's a bold move, but one that could easily backfire. Friday fallout, doubt, secrets, and confessions. As the week wraps on May 1st, Victoria focuses on building her defense against Phyllis. There's speculation that Phyllis may have retained evidence from her own dealings with the AI system, possibly giving her leverage. Sharon Newman begins to question Sienna's story, doubting her claim of killing Matt Clark. Her skepticism could cause friction, especially with Noah, who may be more inclined to trust Sienna. Hints from behind the scenes suggest Matt's story isn't over, reinforcing the idea that Sienna may not be telling the whole truth. At the same time, Nick opens up to Victor Newman about his addiction, setting the stage for a difficult but necessary confrontation. Week ahead, May 4th to 8th short week, big impact. The upcoming week will be shorter than usual due to sports-related preemptions. Episodes scheduled for Tuesday, May 5th, and Wednesday, May 6th will not air, affecting both the young and the restless and the bold and the beautiful. This leaves just 3 episodes to push the story forward during a critical sweeps period. Mounting pressure and emotional conflicts. Lauren Fenmore may push Michael Baldwin to finally sever ties with Victor, especially as the double standards between Victor and Phyllis become more apparent. Meanwhile, Jack and Nikki's risky plan continues to unfold, but rather than repairing their relationships, it may drive Victor and Diane even further away. Kane's sacrifice and family tensions. Kane prepares for the life-saving procedure to help Malcolm, bringing him closer to Lily as their bond continues to heal. However, not everyone is supportive. Devin Winters expresses concerns, possibly criticizing Kane's involvement. His stance may not sit well with Lily or Abby Newman, leading to further family conflict. Is Matt really gone? Questions continue to swirl around Matt Clark's supposed death. With no body and only Sienna's word as proof, doubt lingers. It's possible Sienna believes she killed him, or she could be hiding something more complicated. While her intentions seem genuine, her situation appears increasingly dangerous. Nikki's guilt and Nick's struggle. Nikki Newman is devastated upon learning that Nick may have inherited her addictive tendencies. Watching her son battle substance abuse brings overwhelming guilt. The family wants Nick to seek treatment immediately, especially after his near-fatal overdose. However, with the threat of Matt still unresolved, Nick may resist stepping away just yet. Sienna's risky path. As the story progresses, warning signs suggest Sienna could be in over her head. Despite her determination to protect Noah, her choices may put her in serious danger. Her fate remains uncertain, but her willingness to sacrifice herself could define the next phase of this storyline. With emotions running high, secrets unraveling, and multiple lives hanging in the balance, the week ahead on The Young and the Restless is shaping up to be unforgettable. Next update. The Young and the Restless Thursday, April 30th recap. Sally says yes to Billy's proposal. Jack targets Patty in Victor's scheme. On Thursday, April 30th, The Young and the Restless delivered major developments across Genoa City, with Sally Spectra making a life-changing romantic decision while Jack Abbott began plotting a new strategic move involving Patty Williams and Victor Newman. At the center of the emotional storyline, Sally finds herself weighing her future with Billy Abbott. While she hasn't yet responded to his proposal, her inner conflict becomes a key focus of the episode. Meanwhile, at the Abbott household, Jack is taken aback when Billy reveals 2 shocking updates. Sally is expecting a baby, and he has already proposed to her. Despite his own ongoing heartbreak over Diane Jenkins Abbott's refusal to reconcile, Jack congratulates his brother and remains supportive. However, Jack's attention soon shifts toward a darker idea. After reflecting on his complicated past encounter with Patty Williams on the yacht, he starts to consider whether he could influence her and potentially align her with his interests. This leads Jack to conclude that Patty could be used as a tool in his ongoing efforts against Victor Newman. At the Genoa City Athletic Club, Patty makes her presence known by formally introducing herself to Kyle Abbott. Kyle is immediately unsettled by her arrival and makes it clear he doesn't trust her lingering around town. He warns that if she interferes with Jack and Diane's relationship, he will take action to make her stay unpleasant. Victoria Newman later joins the tension-filled environment and quickly clashes with Kyle once again. Their disagreement centers on their families' complicated histories. Kyle questions how Victoria can live with herself knowing Victor's role in destroying his parents' marriage. Victoria pushes back, pointing out that Jack is not without fault either. She argues that both of them are dealing with fathers who have made serious mistakes, even if Kyle refuses to see Jack in the same light as Victor. As their conversation deepens, Victoria becomes more reflective. She recalls Victor's near-death experience the previous year and how it impacted her emotionally. She suggests that a love the sinner, hate the sin approach might help both of them cope with their complicated family loyalties. Later, Jack arrives at the GCAC and notices Patty at the bar. He reacts with a knowing smirk, clearly ready to move forward with a plan that could put her in play against Victor. Elsewhere, at the Park Cafe, Sally opens up to Audra Charles about Billy's proposal. She admits she hasn't yet given him an answer and reflects on her past, including failed engagements to Wyatt Spencer during her time in Los Angeles. With Audra's encouragement, Sally begins to recognize that emotional walls she has built over time are preventing her from fully embracing happiness. This breakthrough leads to a turning point. When Billy later finds Sally, she finally gives him a clear and confident answer, accepting his proposal. Overcome with joy, Billy places the engagement ring on her finger, sealing their commitment. The couple then celebrates their engagement, marking a major step forward in their relationship. As Genoa City reacts to the news and new schemes begin forming, more drama is clearly on the horizon for everyone involved. Next update. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, May 1st. Sharon questions Sienna's story, Nick faces Victor's pressure. On Friday, May 1st, The Young and the Restless brings rising tension as Sharon Newman grows increasingly doubtful about Sienna Bacall's account of Matt Clark's supposed death. Sharon will struggle to accept Sienna's version of events, especially given how suspicious the situation appears. Meanwhile, Victor Newman turns his focus to Nick Newman and corners his son into revealing the truth. Victor's approach will be direct and forceful, leaving Nick with little room to avoid answering difficult questions. Nick's ongoing struggle with a drug addiction only intensifies Victor's determination to get honest answers straight from him. By the time Victor and Nick's conversation unfolds, Nick will reportedly make a painful confession. Victor will also want clarity on the latest developments surrounding Matt Clark, but Sienna's claim about Matt's death will not convince everyone. Sharon, in particular, will remain unconvinced. She will worry that Sienna may be hiding the truth or even protecting Matt by helping him disappear. Sharon may suspect that Sienna allowed Matt to escape justice, although her concerns may not fully align with reality. There is also a possibility that Sienna believes she played a role in Matt's downfall and is acting on that assumption. Another angle suggests she may have cooperated with Matt in staging his death to protect Noah Newman and his loved ones. However, despite all the uncertainty, Matt Clark is still alive, even though the show appears to suggest otherwise for now. Questions will continue to swirl around what truly happened, especially regarding the blood evidence and the missing body. Sienna's explanation is expected to raise even more doubts, though Matt is likely to resurface eventually, bringing more complications with him. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Victoria Newman prepares to take a firm stance against Phyllis Summers. If Phyllis insists on moving forward with legal action, Victoria will ensure she is fully prepared for a strong counterattack. Victoria remains focused on restoring control of the Newman legacy and will not hesitate to hold Phyllis accountable for the chaos she has caused. She is determined not to back down, especially if it means protecting her family's interests. At the same time, Phyllis continues to fear possible legal consequences, including prison, but her stubborn nature suggests she is unlikely to retreat anytime soon. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.